Good morning and welcome. Postmodernism. The subject for today. This is the problem of being awake. My name is Ben and thanks for joining. So what is postmodernism? Well, it's a way of thinking very popular among the woke culture. And it basically means it's thinking about the future from every background there is. But ironically, it includes the word philosophy in the definition, which by definition is it. But the idea is nothing's real. No one's living in a reality. Everything we have is human constructed. Everything around us we construct with our own eyes. We make up. Now, I'll tell you where there's truth in this argument and I'll tell you where there's fallacy. I don't mind if the guys with quantum mechanics degrees studying at the upper field of the quantum field suggest that there could be alternate realities. I don't subscribe to it. I don't believe it. But if I were proved wrong by somebody with a PhD in a lengthy history studying a subject, I would be more inclined to believe them than I would a trans young girl who thinks that the world is socially constructed because it fits her narrative, and therefore everything that we do we make up in our own minds. Nothing's real. Everything can be changed. Now that's the danger. If nothing's real, everything can be changed. You'll find that we are gearing up, or they are gearing up, you say. So the woke culture and trans movement are gearing up for a big societal shift to communism. So they want to change that. But then isn't that something that's not real? So it's funny. They don't understand the word, but they use it. Because they're not real. Their mind is socially constructed. How do they know they're a trans woman? You know, how do they know that? But they believe that nothing else. Basically, it's saying nothing you think is real. That's what they're using it for. Nothing you think is real. Everything you think you've made up in your head. The whole world is very different from what you think it is. But we know what it is. How? By the premise you have no idea. By the premise you shouldn't be a trans person. Or by the premise you don't exist. By the premise none of us exist. Only consciousness. Now, there is some truth to reality being skewed, which is, and a fun fact, no two blades of grass on Earth are the same shade of green. That's a fun fact. I was surprised about that. They're very, very similar, but if you take them to a really microscopic level, there's a slightly different hue to each one. It's a huge experiment as well. It's interesting. The other thing is, if we're living in a postmodern world, aren't we living in the future? Because I'm living in the modern world. I don't know about you, but I am. That's where I'm choosing to live. The only sort of thing about reality is we do all experience it slightly differently. And this does account for many arguments. Because if I were to put a can of Coke in front of you, and I gave you everything were the same. The same body, same height, same view, same eyes. But your own brain, every human being on the planet would see a slightly different image. Now, I'm not going to go wild with that one. It would be a very similar image from almost all the planet, but it would be just slightly different because in order to experience reality, it first has to go through your senses and your life experience in your brain to then become conscious thought. So a good example of this is a woman gets engaged, she's joyous and happy, she goes out for lunch with her friend who's getting divorced, she's miserable and upset. They come home from their lunch and the partner asks how was it? And the divorced woman says, "You never believe." She's just rubbing things in my face, rubbing her happiness in my face. And the engaged girl says she was just really very negative and taking away all of the, that happiness I've got. It was very strange. The words were the same, the conversation was the same. If it was taped, we'd all, roughly speaking, read it the same and look at it the same. But the take on it would be entirely different, and that's because of life experience, and especially when it's fresh life experience, it can skew perspective. But postmodernism is not that. Postmodernism is it's all fake, and that's not true. It is all not socially or man-made, and it's all not constructed, and it can't all be changed. So if the world can't all be changed, stop trying to change it. That's what I say. I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for tuning in. If you liked it, subscribe and share. If you didn't, you've probably left. Thanks again. We'll speak again.